Something's wrong. Namor might be dead. Captain America and the Human Torch are on a desperate mission to find their old ally, but they'll have to fight their way through the deadly Red Skull gang first. With fists flying and shields clashing, can they uncover the truth before it's too late? The issue unfolds with Jim Hammond, better known as the original Human Torch, recalling a momentous act from his past. He was the one who ended Adolf Hitler's life during World War II. This lingering memory is one of the few fragments that remain after the Maker erased nearly everything else from his mind. When asked how it felt to kill Hitler, Jim smirks and admits that the memory brings him comfort, even warmth, on sleepless nights. Meanwhile, the Avengers gear up for an assault on a fortified compound called Castletown, one of many scattered across North America. These compounds serve as havens for the families of the Red Skulls, a radical faction that has adopted the Punisher's symbol while blending various extreme anti-establishment ideologies. Tony Stark, still undergoing surgery, patches into the team's comms, puzzled as to why they're storming a gated settlement. Steve Rogers, too preoccupied with the mission to offer a full explanation, tells Tony that he doesn't have time to bring him up to speed and reminds him that he's the one calling the shots on this operation. As the assault begins, Human Torch continues narrating while the Ultimates launch a brutal offensive. Wasp and Ant-Man shrink down, infiltrate the guards' ears, and take them out from within by detonating their eardrums. Hawkeye swiftly eliminates the Skull Soldiers one by one, while Steve informs Tony that intelligence has linked this faction of the Red Skulls to the Ninja Clan Hand. He insists that fighting Nazis is always a top priority and that this battle is part of the larger war. Tony, still undergoing spinal surgery while watching numerous battles unfold across multiple screens, counters that this isn't just one fight, it's thousands, all happening at once, with the Maker at the heart of the chaos. Captain America charges ahead, effortlessly knocking out enemies with precise shield strikes, while Human Torch lays down cover, shrouding the battlefield in thick, disorienting smoke. As they push deeper into the compound's core, Human Torch's narration shifts to a memory of the past. Himself, Namor, Winter Soldier, and Captain America standing shoulder to shoulder in their fight against the Nazis. When they finally breach one of the compound's main chambers, the team is met with a shockingly grisly sight. Namor's body mounted on the wall like a prized trophy, surrounded by a display of mounted fish. The team is met by the current leader of the Red Skulls, known as the Grand Skull, though his true identity remains a mystery. He confirms to Human Torch that the figure mounted on the wall is, without a doubt, Namor. When asked if he was responsible for Namor's death, the Grand Skull explains that Namor was executed following a coup in Atlantis, and his body was cast into the ocean to prevent him from becoming a martyr. He then clarifies that it was actually his predecessor, a collector with a penchant for hunting big game, who decided to have Namor's body preserved as a twisted trophy. After Skull makes a few cruel jokes about Namor, Human Torch discreetly gives the signal for their team to strike. As the battle erupts, Human Torch's narration details how their squad moves with fluid precision, instinctively and efficiently, like a well-oiled machine. He also analyzes the Grand Skull's voice, noting an eerie quality, an unnatural cadence laced with hypnotic undertones and artificial charm, suggesting that this skull may be under some form of telepathic influence. Steve pursues the Grand Skull, who introduces him to John Walker, describing him as a true believer, someone who had been devoted to their cause since childhood. We learn that 16 months ago, Walker approached the skull carrying a metal case, a message from Tony Stark, and a vial of super soldier serum, seeking guidance on what to do with it. Skull's response was simple: destroy the ones who gave it to him. Walker charges at Steve, but before he can land a hit, the Human Torch takes him down effortlessly with a scorching blast to the face. As Steve deflects the Grand Skull's gunfire, the bullets ricochet off his mask, leaving it cracked and damaged. Just then, Tony hacks into their communication system, informing Skull that he has wiped their propaganda from the internet, shut down their platforms, and completely drained their financial assets. Accepting his loss, Skull tells Steve that, at their core, they are the same, both symbols, larger than life. Before vanishing, he leaves Steve with a chilling warning: symbols don't die. They only return in different forms. Then, almost casually, he remarks that it was good to see him again. After the dust settles, the team honors Namor with a proper burial at sea, returning him to the waters that once made him king. In the days that follow, Human Torch observes that Steve has barely slept or spoken since Namor's funeral, clearly unsettled by something the Grand Skull said, something eerily familiar, particularly the way he had said, "It was good to see you, Steve." Driven by an unsettling instinct, Human Torch's internal systems initiate a voice-matching analysis. The results are undeniable. The voice of the Grand Skull belongs to none other than James Buchanan Barnes, also known as Bucky Barnes. What did you think of this issue of Ultimates? Were you shocked to learn that the Grand Skull was connected to Bucky? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.